Hello, and welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of sports. And we've covered a bunch of other divisions. Now it's the turn of the NFC South for our season previews. Tim, I'm keeping this intro short. Let's do it.
Let's run it.
So the first team we're going to cover is the Atlanta Falcons. And oh boy, God, they're so disappointing. Out with the last good things of this franchise, and Matt Ryan, he's off to Indianapolis, and Marcus Mariota is the quarterback. And let's face it, this offense isn't good. This defense isn't good. The Falcons aren't good. Last place for you. 2-15 for me. But the bright side for Falcons fans is that gets them the first overall pick. Yay.
Yeah, that's one little silver lining to it. But yeah, they're not a good team.
Call that a
it'll be interesting
linings
to see.
Playbook.
Yeah.
You've never seen that movie.
Nope, you're right. Realistically, I think it'll be interesting to see what Cordero Patterson is able to do this year with a pretty similar below average offense, and the emergence of Drake London and what will he be for this team. But as much as I like Marcus Mariota, I'm not sure if I'm really all that high on him as a starting quarterback again. So I don't see this offense going very much of anywhere. So yeah, I have them at 3-14. So I'm ever so slightly more optimistic than you. But that doesn't get you much. It still puts you at pretty much bare bones bottom of the league.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where we think they're going to be. There's really not much more to say about that. So let's cover the next team, the Carolina Panthers. And they have Baker Mayfield now, which is a definite upgrade from Sam Darnold, especially now that Baker Mayfield's shoulder is healthy. And even though there is
Christian McCaffrey, please stay healthy.
Yeah.
For the love of anyone who likes watching football, we like seeing you
on the football field.
Yeah, and fantasy managers everywhere. I myself have taken Christian McCaffrey with the second overall pick.
Snake a bit by it.
Can't wait for that to hopefully not crash and burn, because maybe Christian McCaffrey will stay healthy.
If they stay healthy, they've got a pretty solid offense across the table. Now the wide receiver position isn't necessarily deep by any means, but when it's spearheaded by DJ Moore, I mean, with a good quarterback, or with even a half decent quarterback, he's proven that he can be a very solid wide receiver, and we'll see if Baker can make a connection with Robbie Anderson after all of the interesting side banter back and forth with Robbie Anderson and the media about the potential of Baker Mayfield joining the Panthers. But I mean,
of course, now Robbie Anderson's chill with it now that Baker Mayfield is on the Panthers, because of course he is. But
I mean, yeah, kind of needs to be.
You kind of have to be. So the defense was surprisingly one of the best units in the NFL last year, and they brought in a lot of new faces, guys like Matt Ioannidis, Damian Wilson, Corey Littleton, Xavier Woods, and of course, this isn't a defensive addition, but I think the most important addition that the Panthers made this offseason was getting Johnny Hekker as their punter.
Man, I can't believe the Rams let Johnny Hekker go. But yeah, you know,
because
make or break guy in your organization.
Without Johnny Hekker, I would have the Panthers going 4-13. But just because they have him, I have them at 5-12. Woohoo! We could talk about like them having a decent offense, a decent defense, all we want. I still don't think they're going to put it together, like, in all honesty, and I think they're going to be third in the NFC South. A 5-12 record, I think, is pretty fair for where they're at as a team.
Yeah, and to be fair, I pretty much agree with you for the most part, although I think the emergence of Baker Mayfield in this offense will help them boost some things, and I am banking on Christian McCaffrey staying healthy for at least a decent amount of the season, and I think that's going to help them win some games. I've got them at 6-11. I still don't think they're going to be like a great team by any means, but I think they'll be an improvement from where they were at last year, just based on the fact of where their offense is. And I think that's going to allow them to win a couple more games with their defense being as decent as it is. And I think that they'll be able to have a pretty solid defensive season again. So
in the Big Easy, they had an interesting season last year because they were 9-8 and they missed the playoffs. I think a big reason is that Jameis Winston tore his ACL and you were forced to throw like Trevor Siemian and Ian Book, which
That was a painful experiment.
the Ian Book game was not fun to watch. But Jameis Winston, when he did play, he played pretty well. So now he's back to eat W's and not throw interceptions because of his LASIK surgery. And guess who's also
He's
back?
gonna have that laser vision out there.
Oh yeah. It's laser vision, not tunnel vision. He's going to see the entire field and not throw 30 interceptions, I think. But guess who's also back? Michael Thomas.
Oh my goodness, what a dude.
He's finally back for his first full season since 2019. And if Michael Thomas isn't the same guy, they got Chris Olave, and he's been setting the world on fire in training camp. And quite frankly, I am a lot higher on the Saints than most people would believe. I don't understand why they won't make the playoffs. There's no reason they shouldn't. I have them at 11-6. Getting a wild card because this is a well-rounded roster, top to bottom. And when I look at the Saints overall, I see a playoff team. I really do.
Yeah, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see. I personally think the biggest question mark that has not been answered yet is Alvin Kamara. What is going to happen with that situation?
I'm banking on him playing the entire year.
I think he will play. I don't think he will play the entire year.
And even if he doesn't play the entire year, I still don't think it matters.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They have a lot of talent. I love their receiving core now with the addition of Olave and Jarvis Landry. To a team that obviously, if Alvin Kamara is playing, has a great run game. And with Jameis Winston at the head, I think they can do some things. But I question what's going to happen with this Kamara situation. I see him being suspended for at least a portion of the year. And I think that's going to cause him to have a couple bumps in the road, as well as much as I love Jameis and I love his play, I don't think he's going to be like a consistent stellar QB all the time. He's going to have some really great games, but I also think we're going to see some games by the Saints that we've kind of seen previously where their offense just sort of falls flat on its face.
I mean, you're right, because at the end of the day, it is Jameis, and like I mentioned that he played well. I don't think he's going to be Mr. Super Awesome all the time quarterback Jameis Winston. I think he's going to have one good game, have one bad game, have two good games, have another bad game, just that up and down Jameis Winston that we're used to, but not to the extent of 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions.
Yeah, but no, for sure. Yeah, I just don't see enough of the close games going their way, and for that reason I have them at 9-8. But this is a team that 100% has the talent to beat that record by at least a game or two, if not a couple of games, because if they manage to get things clicking on all cylinders with that offense and get some of that consistency down, and if Alvin Kamara is able to play, then all of a sudden we've got some things to consider. They've got a lot of weapons at their disposal. But trying to factor in some of those things, I've got them dropping a couple of close games and have them at 9-8.
Now we'll go to Florida and Tampa Bay, and there was a lot of questions because Tom Brady had retired. He did retire for about 2 months, and then he unretired as the rest of the league throws their hands up in despair because
I'm ahead back in.
Yeah, because all of the questions that the Buccaneers happened just kind of disappeared when Tom Brady came back. Funny how that happens. Like, they run back a lot of the same squad, and I think their receiver core especially got even better because you add Russell Gage and then you get Julio Jones.
Got a little guy named Julio Jones. I mean,
Yeah, this team was 13-4 last year. I have them going 12-5 this year, but yet still winning the NFC South. And unfortunately for the rest of us, it is a very real chance that the Buccaneers could be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl because of the talent that this team has, and also Tom Brady. I really hope after this year we have to stop saying that like a team is going to be good because Tom Brady. I hope he retires, but he's back again. One more year. Just one more. We promise. That's it. We think.
Yeah, I mean,
until next year when he comes back again.
Yeah, when he retires for another 5 minutes, is like, "Ha, I'm back."
Yeah,
Um,
he'll
but
put what Brett Favre did to shame.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This is a team that has so many weapons across the table, and I mean, with the addition of guys like Julio Jones, you could get a lot out of them. You could get a little out of them. It's kind of hard to tell.
But
Biggest
that
question mark for
means
me,
that you don't exactly have to get a lot out of Julio Jones. So if he doesn't
yeah,
have that left in the tank, you have 3 quality wide receivers to throw to besides him anyway.
yeah, and I think the big question mark for me is what is the return of Chris Godwin going to look like? Going down with that injury definitely hurts him. And it's at what state of his return is he going to be at coming into this season? And how healthy is he going to be? Because regardless, the Tampa Bay offense is going to roll on whether or not he's a big part of it, just because of the weapons that they have. But when he is healthy and playing well, it takes more stress off of Mike Evans. It just makes them that much better. But your defense, very solid. Your offense, led by Tom Brady, you still got all your weapons. I've got them going 12-5 as well. I see no reason why they are not going to be the NFC South champions once again. Representing the NFC to the Super Bowl, that's a different story. It's going to be interesting, but I don't know if they're quite what they were when they won the Super Bowl a couple of years past.
But I
So
mean,
hard to tell.
like you said, the postseason is
Anything can happen. Yes.
very different than the
And we
regular
all know what Brady looks like in the postseason.
and that's exactly my reasoning behind that. But that's all we got for our season preview of the NFC South. We are going all around the league, doing a blitz of all 32 teams, pun absolutely intended. So if you like what we're doing and you like more of our stuff, go watch it. We'll have a lot of stuff coming for you, and like and subscribe for more stuff from us, and we out.